Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel Tutor Things. Today in this video we are going to see C arrays. So till now we have done so many videos related to C. If you haven't watched those videos, go to my channel where you will in the playlist where you will find C tutorials. Just click on that. You will find a series of videos line wise. You can go through those videos before coming to this video. So yeah, C arrays is a concept which everyone should know. Like in other programming languages, we will see arrays. So this is comes under DS, the data structures here. Yeah, arrays is a kind of thing which comes like when you want to store a multiple values in a single variable, we use arrays. So in general, we till now we have seen like storing a single value in a single variable we have seen. But what if you want to store multiple values in a single variable instead of having the different number of variables like which you having the same kind of data, same type of data. So at that time, instead of using different memory for the variables, we can use a single or what we called as a not a single but a series starting from one position. We can store everything in a line wise. So that thing we can do by using this arrays. Instead of declaring separate variables for each value, we are just having a single variable for storing a multiple values. Okay, that thing you have to understand when you comes about arrays. So to create an array, what you should have to do is like same how we do with the variables. We have to do the like the same, like defining a data type is important. Defining a data type and then specify the name of the array, that is name of the variable which you are going to for that array, followed by the square brackets. This thing is very important. You have to understand. That is the only thing which makes you like understand like this is a array variable name. So not a normal variable like a single valued variable. Not no, it is different from that. This is called an array. You can understand by having the square brackets are followed by square brackets after the name of the array. Okay, here you can see int is the type and then my numbers and then square brackets. That is nothing but my numbers is an array name, and then the values which you are going to store in that array. So we should group them, right? We should have curly braces and then inter type means integers. We have to mention 25 comma 50 comma 75 comma 100. This is how we have to use arrays. This now you can see the array is created with a variable that holds the array of 4 integers. Okay, now accessing the elements of an array. Now we have declared an array. So how to access the elements of the array? For example, if we have only one single variable with the name of the variable, we are accessing that particular array. But when it comes particular variable, when it comes to arrays, what we have to do is we have to refer that by using the index number. We'll have one concept called as index numbers in the arrays. So index actually starts from 0 in an arrays. So square bracket of 0 is the first element. We call it as square bracket of 1 is nothing but second element. Index starts with 0 means this is 0th element, this is the first element, this is the second element, this is the third element. So the statement here we have here is the first element, like value of the first element 0 in numbers. So my numbers. So that is how we are going to see. Yes, so my numbers in the bracket which we have the square bracket, in that we have to specify the index. So in my numbers where array, we are accessing a 0th index. So that is the meaning of this my arrays square bracket of 0. So this is a 0th element of my numbers array. So that is 25 value. So outputs, when we are going to print this value, we are getting the output as 25. That is how we have to access the elements of an array. In the same way, I can have here is a 1. That is the first element in that my numbers array. That is the 50 here. That is the as it start from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is how accessing of arrays will be done. Okay, and then we have to understand like changing of an array element. How we can change it? For example, in a variable we can just assign a value so that the previous value will be overridden, or assigning of the value will be done by the assignment operator with the variable name. So in the same case, how we are accessing that the zeroth element indexes will come when you are changing the value also. So my numbers of 0, that is zeroth index of my numbers, we are going to change the value is 33. So 33 value we are specifying the element by using the index number and then changing the value of the specific element. So the example will be here like this. So index we have, see array we have declared already with the 4 variables, and then I'm changing the 0th element of my numbers array into 33 number. So here 33, 50, 75 will be there for that array as of now. So and you are printing the zeroth element now, you'll not able to get 25. That is overridden by the 33 number, as we are assigning the zeroth element of the index as 33 in this statement. Okay, so that is how the output is not 25 but it is 33. So that is how chaining of array elements can be done by using the indexes, the same how we are accessing. Now indexes, arrays is kind of concept where we can loop easily. Okay, so individual elements we are picking by using indexes, right? So for example, if you want to loop, like instead of writing everything like a one of one, so in this example we are printing first element. For example, I want to print everything. See, so now four elements are there, right? First is the zeroth element, and then first element, and then we have second element, and then a third element because it starts from zero. Okay, so then I'm printing on n. So first will be 25, and then 50. So as we haven't written like it is next line, it is coming in the same line. I'm just adding the new line character. So let's see how the output will be changing by adding this particular kind of thing. So just click on run. So line wise we'll be getting like 25, 50, and like 75 and 100. The same we are writing statement, same statement we are writing number of times and the index is changing. So for that purpose we have looping concepts we have seen, right? Like for loop, for this must to this much, the particular statement want to be repeated that number of times with the I changing, I as an integer we have taken. So at the time we use looping. The same concept comes under while looping an array. The array is there and I'm taken as an I as an integer, which is a looping character. So for I is equal to 0, starting from 0 as index is starting from 0, and I is less than 4, that is indexes will be, and as a 4 elements array, 3 it will be the last index. So this is less than 4, that is 4 times we are looping this particular kind of thing in I plus plus, that is I should be incrementing. That thing is important. The for loop we know, right? Already we have seen for loop video, so that will be helpful for you to understand these things better. So now the statement which we have repeating here so many number of times to get this kind of thing will be here in the single line, like that we can repeat. Okay, now you understood, right? The same thing we are getting by using this statement. So where we have to have like int I. Okay, now I'm running the same thing. So this is the one case we are getting, and the other case with the single printf statement by looping for loop we are getting the same result. This is how we can loop an arrays. Okay, understood, right? So now we can set our array size also. So that thing we can, how we can do is the other way to use create arrays as a specify the size of an array or add elements later. We are declaring the arrays here itself. So whether we are not, we don't know the values of the arrays which we want to add in that particular array. At that time, what we can do is we can just specify the size of that array. So later on, we can add the values to that what we call as to that array elements. Okay. So by using the indexes, same concept. While you are accessing any elements in the array by using indexes itself. Okay, by using indexes we can access that particular space and then add the value to that particular thing. The same, when you are accessing you can use the indexes. When you are assigning the thing, well, you are changing, right? So previously if you have declared anything there is no values, so now we are adding the value is nothing but changing the value in that space, right? The same thing, adding the elements, so zeroth element, first element, second element, third element, just assign character and then assign the value. This is how we can set the size of an array. After that we can declare a values to that. So using method you should know the number of any array elements in advance. So if you are not clear with the size of the array, you can just specify without the size of array itself, like only square brackets and then give the values of those things. So if you know the size of an array you can just give that. So you should make sure that you are adding that much elements only. If you are not able to change the size of array after the creation, so make sure that you are no advance the size of an array. Okay, next, avoid mixing of data types. So arrays is one kind of concept where you have to give the values of that type only, because we are specifying that array type is of this type only. Should not mention other float types or int types or everything other other than int type. So what you are mentioning here, that only should be there. So okay, arrays must be of same data type. That thing you have to remember it at what case. Okay, you can't mix the different types of values like integers and floating points and same array. Okay, this is the example. It will create you an error, so it will not accept like that. It declaring a variable in array path of both integers and floating number, which will result in error. Okay, see, it is taking as an integer 3 value and 5 value is coming. It is not desirable, right? What are the data which should have, that should be printed. So it will taking that as integer. So that is not recommended, right? Which is be truncated to 3 and 5. In some other cases might result an error also. So in some cases you will be getting those things. So make sure that you are giving the same data type in an array which is declared of data type. Declared data type only, we have to mention the values related to that. And next, knowing the size of array is also very important. So now we are specifying the arrays if you know the number of elements in the array. So if you don't know like how many characters should be in that array, knowing the size of array is important in some cases. So how to know the size of an array? By using size of operator. So this is the size of operator we have in this C language, that is used to find the size of an array. Okay, here we have an array of five elements, so we call it as an elements. Okay, values or elements we call it as. So printf, we are printing the size of an array, that is size of, and the array name we have to specify. No need of what we call this square brackets, we don't need, just name of the array is enough. So my numbers, size of my numbers I want to know. So the size of numbers, it will be an like percentage lu. So this is the what we called as we in the integers, how we did like percentage d, like this is the uh, type of size of it will be in this thing. So how when we go for print, it will give an output of 20. So that is the size of my numbers. Like 20, how we got means if we decode that. So this is an integer, right? So integer will take 2 bytes. So see, the result is 20 instead of 5. Why? Array contains 5 elements, right? It's because size of returns the size of a things in a bytes. So if you learn data types in the int type, it usually take 4 bytes, right? So from the example, 4 bytes for 5 elements, it will be 20 bytes. Okay. Knowing the memory size of an array is great thing when you are working with like larger programs that require memory management at that time. So how much memory it is taking, to know that memory kind of thing is very important when we are dealing with such kind of projects. Okay, but when you just want to find out how many elements in arrays, we have to using the following formula. So which is divided with the size of an array by the size of the first element of an array. Okay, that will tell you the what is the length of the, like how many elements are there. If you want to know, if you know the size of an array, you can just divide with the size of an first element. That is nothing but for one element, how much size we have to know. If you know the full size, we can just divide that and we get the length, right? Because it will have the arrays have the same integer. So that means the size of one element is the same as other elements also. So that many numbers will be there for total size, we can divide that. Will understand that how many number of elements in that will be getting. So length is nothing but an integer, right? So percentage d is enough. So for making better loops, we should understand the size of array, because if we don't know, if you know the size of this many numbers, we can have directly like four kind of thing like that. But if you don't know like how many numbers are there at the time, in for loop for conditioning purpose, we can use this size of formula. So it will be better if you use such kind of thing, if you are unclear that how many number of arrays will be there. Instead of here 4 is I less than 4, in the condition we can have like I less than length. How we are length we are getting by using the size of that elements by the first element size. So you can have that, and such that you will getting the length of that particular thing, and then we'll be having that. Okay. size of first element, size of numbers by size of first element, you will be getting length. So if you don't know how length of the size of an array, and if you don't know um size of first element also, you will be getting length here. So this is how we can get the size of an array. In such places, looping conditions, it will be useful. Okay. Next, we have real life examples which you go through. I'm not explaining everything in detail here in this video. It will become lengthy if we go through. At last, all the tutorials will see like real time examples and see. Okay. So this is related to the a program related to average of different ages. We have ages array where we have number of elements, and then average as a float type, and sum is equal to 0. We are taking int I for looping purpose, where you are getting length by using the formula of size ages, size of array by size of first element of an array. So this is how we are getting the length, and then looping by looping the every element in the array, and so that you are getting the sum of ages there. So how to get the average from the sum is sum by length. So total by number of thing is in getting average, right? So average will come in the float value. So percentage f will be there. If you want to know only two decimal precision, then 0.2f will be used. So this is the example, is a real time example. Just go through that so that you will understand. So this is how it will look like. And the other examples is lowest stage from the all the different ages. So if you are looping that, and then if you have such condition, then you will get in the lowest stage. Just go through this example, how they are writing condition, and how they are checking with the condition, and so finally deciding which is the lowest stage. And then finally we having like multi-dimensional array. So now till now we have seen like a only single dimensional array, that is only assigning the values. You can also have like a 2D array. So in previous chapter we have seen arrays, which is single dimensional array we called as, which is a great to use with programming C. If you want to go for a tabular form like tables, rows, and columns, then you will be having like multi-dimensional array. This array is a basic of multi-dimensional array is nothing but arrays of arrays. So arrays of arrays, we have like any number of dimensions. In this chapter we are only using 2D dimensional arrays. We can also have 3D dimensional arrays, 4D dimensional arrays. So in 2D dimensional arrays we call this also matrix, because matrix is nothing but rows and columns, right? So we'll have rows and columns kind of thing in 2D arrays. We call this two dimensional arrays. The syntax will be like this, like how arrays will have like square brackets will be there after followed by the name of the array. The same like two square brackets will be there. So one is indicates the rows, like two rows will be there, and the second one is the columns. In two rows, each individual row will be having like three columns. So row is nothing but like this horizontal line, and vertical lines is like columns. That is three columns for each individual row. So the first element represents the number of rows, that is 2, while the second dimension represents the number of columns, that is 3. The values are placed in a row order, can be visualized like this, like how it will take memory space means like this: row 0, row 1. Row 0 will be this 1, 4, 2, and row 1 will be 3, 6, 8. The columns wise, it will be column 0, column 1, column 2. So 1, 3 is the column values for row 0 and row 1, and column 1 value for row 0 and row 2 is 4, 6, and for column 2 values of row 0 and row 1 is 2, 8. So this is how we'll be having like a matrices, that is nothing but two-dimensional array. Next, how we can access this two-dimensional array, like in single dimensional array, how we are accessing by using index values, right? Here also we use index values. If it is this is the case, how individual rotation will be. To access this one number, how we can do is matrix of 0 0. So that is nothing but the zeroth column element, and zeroth row and zeroth column, that is nothing but a one value. So now like that we can specify. So 0 is the zeroth row, so that is this row, and the column is 2, that is from start is from 0 0 1 2. So this the 2 is the output, like that we will be having. So in columns, rows also starts from 0. So you have to understand this is not a first column, this is a zeroth column, and this is a zeroth row. Okay. So 0 2 means zeroth row and the second column. So that is nothing but third element in the zeroth array. Okay. This is we are getting the two value, like that. You practice everything like getting each individual value in the all the cases. So that simple. We have to understand like how matrices will be given. Kind of thing. So 0 and zeroth column, zeroth element, and zeroth row and first column, zeroth row and second column. Next, first row, zeroth column, and then first row, first column, and then second row. Sorry, first row, second column. So that is nothing but we are printing every values. till now we have taken zeroth column and then 1th column. So 142 368. That is how we have to able to access two dimensional arrays. So remember that we should start from index start from 0. The first element will be 1, index of 1, and the second element will be index of 2. Okay, index of 3 will be third element will be index of 2. So changing the elements of 2D arrays is same how we can do with the indexes, like the same base. So if you want to change the zeroth column, zeroth row, zeroth column means 00 we have to give, that is equal to 9. So name of the array and then followed by the indexes. So instead of 9, how it will print here is so the 0 to 0 is 1 here, but instead of 1, we will give 9 as we have changed the value of that 2D dimensional array index. Then looping is same how we'll do with the single dimensional arrays, the same. But how here we have rows and columns, right? So two loopings will be happen. So like how nested loops we have seen, that column will apply here in real time. So ij is the two indexes we will taking, and for loop first outer index will be there, which is looping rows first of all, and then in each individual row we are again looping the columns. So row for loop will be there, and column for loop will be there. For each individual row, column loop will be looped. So length of the rows will be given here, I is less than 2, and length of columns j is less than 3 will be given. So it will be incremented. So matrix of ij means I value 0. So for I value 0, you'll be having like 1 value, 2 value, and 3 value, 3 times repeating. For I, it will be repeated. So every values will be printed by looping this. So check out this and understand this. If you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section. As video is becoming lengthy, we are stopping here. The next video will give C strings. If you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section. So that's all for these videos. Thanks for watching. We have covered C arrays. So to practice more, if you practice more, you will understand concepts much better. So let's see in the next video. Until then, keep watching, keep sharing, keep supporting us. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.